feedback. I think it would be nice for us to bring some touch of reality to this thing. I know when we bring textbook point of view, it's cool, but what's happening in your very before? Maybe that will help. That will be a point for us to see. Um, how do I start to change things in my little corner? In terms of gender and domestic roles, um, funny thing is, when I was growing up, I never knew anything about gender and domestic roles. Maybe because I was raised by a single mother. My mom didn't particularly care whether you were a boy or a girl or whatever. Everybody did what they had to do, and um, I never even understood why I have to. You have to serve your husband food. Why am I serving you food? Why can't you get food yourself? You know, I didn't get that. I didn't understand that until when I became much older and I started dating. And as much of where I am, at least most of the men I dated Nigerian men. I did date many men. The first time looking at me now, so this girl did sentiment. Okay, that's aside. Anyway, I started dating and I started seeing things like you hear things um like prerequisite to marriage. You will watch cutting. You will it's you that will do this. I will bring the money. You know, things like that. And I was like, Uncle, you don't used to watch cutting me. You're not used to paying you. I'm like, why can't you watch cutting? Things like that. And for me, at the point, I was like, you know what? And you know, when you start to speak up about things like this, things like, why can't you wash your plate? They look at you like you're not submissive. That's the next thing now. You are not submissive. You are not a marriage material kind of person. Already I'm married, right? And when I was going to get married, it like for me it was test. You watch this, can you? Like I needed to know you could do that. For me, for gender roles, I would say this, and I think this is what works for me. I would say it's not it's, the roles in the house. Domestic roles should not be divided based on whether you have a penis or you don't have a penis. Excuse my choice of language. It shouldn't be based on that. It should be based on what you can do and how fast you can do it. For instance, I cook because hey, the last time my husband made semo, he made the whole semo bita in the whole house, and it became like hard rock. Like, yo, guy, you cannot waste food in the house, so please don't do it. So, and it's faster for me to do it. He washes the dishes because I can't cook and wash dishes, so it's faster that way. For me, um, how fast can we get things done? And the one we cannot do, say because we are busy, please let's outsource it. But it's not going to be based on the fact that you have a penis or you don't have a penis, then because of that you can't wash it. So that's my take on it.
All right, thank you so much, Amina. Let's hear Kehinde Olukayode.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My intervention in this issue will be based on the, my understanding of what it means for an individual to survive, first and foremost. And I will base on how individuals should survive, first of all. And I will also look at it from the issue of the Okunrin and Obirin as it regards to the African society. And now, individually, it is needed that as every individual, you must eat, you must be able to do your laundries yourself, you must be able to basically take care of yourself as an individual. And once that is not found, I think we that individual is not being true to himself, in the sense that as an individual, why would you say you have to have a girlfriend or you have to have a wife first before you must know how to cook? And like that very, very, very funny advert of Deto that says, if I don't take care of them, who will? The fact is, the truth is, if you don't take care of yourself, who will take care of you? So we need to understand the fact that, see, you first of all need to understand that you need to take care of yourself. And I feel that that problem comes from the fact that people don't understand or value themselves. If you value yourself, you should be able to know that this is what I can eat. If you like a food so much, for example, you should be able to make that food yourself to your own satisfaction, and that will suit you. Also, on the other hand, according to the Okunrin Obirin paradigm that is heralded in the Yoruba cultural society. The Yoruba cultural society is based on two pillars, and that is the Okunrin and Obirin, in the sense that we believe, or there is the belief that there is a balance on these two pillars, and this is the two pillars that holds or on which a society stands, in the sense that there is what an occurring, and that is male, is expected to do, and there is what an obìnrin as a female is expected to do. I do not construe the fact that there are exceptions to these issues. Yes, there are exceptions, and there can be shiftings from one end to another, but it doesn't mean that there are necessities or that these duties are not shouldn't cannot be done by the obìnrin as against the ọkùnrin, or cannot be done by the ọkùnrin as against the obìnrin. But it is on these two pillars, or on the consciousness of these two pillars, that there is what is expected of a man in a society, and there is what is expected of a woman in the Yoruba cultural society, that is on these two pillars, or on these two pedestals, that the society is established. I will take, for example, a very enlightening example that one of my mentors shared with me. He said, in a normal African society, when they say they want to check the destiny of a child, like in the Yoruba side, they say, okay, I've wolf and your mother. He said that one thing that happens in that scenario is the fact that it's the male or the husband and the father and the father and the grandfather that goes in. But at that inner chamber where they check, it is the woman's name that is being called. And that got me thinking. The woman is not there, but her name is referenced. The man is there, but his name is not mentioned. And that got me thinking. It therefore tells us that, see, these issues, or the issue of this domestic issue, has its place. And there is what is expected of a man, and there is what is expected of a woman. But there is an exception. It is not encompassed or encapsulated into the fact that it is compulsory, or you begin to enslave whichever gender in that position. So that's my intervention to the issue of gender and domestic issues.
All right. Thank you so much, Kehinde and Amina. Thank you guys for your intervention and for opening up this segment of our forum. So, thoughts, folks. What should it be like? Domestic roles. Who should do what? Musun, is that a hand to talk?
Yes, please, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So yeah, I totally agree with your point. Like your points, Amina and Sam. So like, especially what Sam said about if you value yourself, you will take care of yourself. I think it's just a matter of responsibility and, you know, being a decent human being. For example, I have this friend on WhatsApp, and you know, he will always update his status about, oh, how women should know how to cook and everything. He was raised by a single mom and he has a sister, and you know, they always took care of him. So eventually he left home and he had to live alone because of the kind of work. And I was following everything on WhatsApp, and we've had arguments about, oh, you should just know how to cook. It's not a big deal. And then one day, he updated his status. He cooked turkey. We didn't see the picture, but he cooked the turkey and wrote that, that's women are trying, you know. I think cooking is just a basic human skill like that. You don't need to be a guy or a woman to know how to. So that was like the summary of his WhatsApp status. I didn't say anything, but I was happy he learned his lesson himself. And you know, just to see how sometimes it's when you are out of that setting that enables, you know, your irresponsibility. Let's just put it in that like that. Or it enables you to feel that, yeah, it's okay, my mom is there and everything. And now, you know, even on his WhatsApp status as well, when his mom and his sister, when they bring food, he'll post it and say, wow, my angels have arrived and everything. I'm so blessed. You get. So yeah, it's just a matter of responsibility.
Yeah, thank
Uh,
you.
just,
Angel, mommy and Angel sister. Okay, please, I've
just
seen a couple of hands that were raised via the Zoom raise hand function. If you can use that function, please do. And I'll call people according to how they raise their hand. But I think I saw Mina raising her hand. So we'll go like this: Tosin, Lanre, Felix, and then Mina. So Tosin, I saw your hand raised first, then Lanre Awode, then Felix Adesina, then Mina. All right, so let's go in that order.
Okay. So I actually enjoy the conversation, but one thing I want to say is that do we notice that domestic roles are often in the family setting? So they are most pronounced in the family setting. So it's more about guys can cook when they are bachelors, but it becomes a problem when they are married. So it's learned behavior. Guys can take care of themselves anywhere. Guys boast about their ability that they can survive in the world because they have the skill. But then he finds a girlfriend and starts to say, it's not good for a guy to cook because we have learned that behavior that married men are not supposed to cook. Married women are not supposed to be richer than their husbands. Simple. It's not because ordinarily I have a lot of friends that are richer than I am, and nobody complains. Everybody is so happy. But the moment I get married to one of them, it becomes a problem. Then they say, I'm not good enough as a man, or she's proud. That is the institution that brings this domestic roles and make them a problem because we do them ordinarily. People, when we're in schools, we take care of our own things, we clean our own spaces, we do all these things. But when we get into marriage or a family setting, that's where we know the firstborn shouldn't do this because he's older than everybody and take care of his own needs, then the siblings have to do all these things after him because that's where it becomes a problem. So until we ensure that the family, like Amina was saying, in my house, I'm going to cook the food. You are going to wash the plates. Mosu's friend will be grateful to his wife. I hope he's grateful to his partner when she cooks for him too, because he knows he can't or he should, not because it's his right to. So there's a place where you know that okay, my when my sister comes over and she cook, she does most of the cooking. Oh, I love her to make the cooking, and I'm always grateful that she comes around to cook. Not because I can't cook, but because it's better. So aside from the fam, we need to solve that family issue and know that it's nobody's right to do anything. We all should do it.
Yeah, thank you, Tosin. And I completely agree. And I think this harks back to the point you made earlier about the community exacting a lot of influence on the individual, right? Because even if the couple are okay, the man is okay with cooking. When the mother-in-law comes and sees her son cooking, she's like, hey, you have just my son. You see, so, and then like problem begins to start in the family. All right, let's hear Lanre and then Felix and then Mina. Is Lanre still with us? Okay, maybe not. Felix.
okay, yes.
Oh, okay.
Welcome, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, go on. We are with you, Lanre. You are muted now, though. Okay, maybe Lanre has some technical issues. Let's hear Felix, then when Lanre is okay, we'll come back to his point.
Okay, yes, my network is better now. Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So on this issue, I think it is something of strength and just matter of strength between you and your partner. So if your strength is in cooking while your partner is in maybe sweeping or cleaning the house, I think you guys should just discuss it. I don't think society should be the one to dictate what you and your partner do with your lives. So I can't say I want to cook or I want my partner to cook just because by the mere fact that she's a lady and I'm a man, I would not cook. I think that's very wrong. It just has to do with what you can do. So if I'm more comfortable sweeping the house, I'm more comfortable cleaning, or I prefer to beat the children, I think I should do that, and I should not let, and no one should force me to doing something else. And if she likes to cook, well, cook your food, and I won't force you to do it. Whatever you feel you want to do, you do. So that's just my own submission on the whole matter. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Larry. Before Felix goes, I just want to piggyback off of what Larry said. So honestly, for me, I think about man-woman relationships as partnerships, right? And so if you think of that as this is my partner, we're on